Just click record on my end. Let's get right into it, not waste any time. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Zachary Reality. It is Zachary Reality, and we are here with Miranda. Spoiler alert, the most recently, I don't know if I want to say eliminated because you kind of eliminated yourself, but we're going to get into it. Miranda, how are you doing? How are you feeling since the episode aired last night?
Oh my God, I'm ecstatic. Everything's been blowing up, but I went to bed super late last night trying to kind of answer everybody's questions and stuff. But I'm just so happy with how it went. I was on the edge of my seat watching myself, yelling at myself all over again.
Yeah, for sure. What has been like the biggest question fans have been asking? Was it just like, do you regret taking the decision to leave? Like, what are people really wanting to know?
They just want to know where it came to between why I wanted to get Aaron and Alyssa out. Like, hey, what happened? And with that part is like everybody's so focused on Rob. I knew I wanted to get Rob out, but everybody was so focused on him. I was seeing how Alyssa and Aaron were and how it was so shady how they were acting and why nobody wanted to split them up. They were just like two little peas in a pod running around. So I was like, no, let me just blow that up. Like one has to go. If I break the alliance, then there's going to be a little bit more chaos. You just had to break them up. That's all. And that was my goal the whole time. And I finally got an opportunity. And as much as it irked me to keep it in, I was super calm about it and I let it play.
Yeah. I mean, I think as a viewer, we see that, Rob is obviously a big target, but he is really close with Alyssa and Aaron specifically. And it kind of seems like the three of them are vibing versus the rest of the house. So if they can kind of all gang together, then maybe they can kind of break it up. But Aaron did have a lot of control in this last challenge. Did you vote for him to be the most trustworthy person the week before?
So the week before, there was a moment where Joe would not let us leave unless we all came together on one person. Aaron was not my first choice. I think everybody actually said they trusted themselves. And I was like, okay, I trust God. I don't even trust myself. I trust God. Okay. And they're like, no, you have to find something. So then after 10 minutes, Rob was just like, there's no doubt I trust Aaron. And then we're like, oh yeah, let's go. Like Aaron. And then we leave and everyone's like, oh my God, where's Aaron? I miss him. Oh my God, what's going to happen? I'm like, who cares? Yeah. One down. We got one down. If he goes, takes an offer, bye. He's one less person we got to worry about. And that was my thing is like, okay. I mean, I think it even shows in the show where I'm just like, who cares where Aaron is? I don't care where he's at.
And I don't think you guys knew at the time that that person would have so much power because Aaron, who ended up being the most trusted, he really had a lot of control in that challenge, which we saw in the episode where he was choosing who got the keys, basically, and choosing who got certain amounts. Did he really have that much control in that challenge, or do you guys think you had some control running in the jungle?
So the only way I would have control is if I just didn't agree with him. So I had all the control in the world. Like my game was great. But I took Aaron's advice and got case 1 and 2, and that, falls on me. Granted, Aaron had to do what he had to do, so he wouldn't be up against the banker. So, I mean, it's not like, I'm like, well, screw you, you're a bad person. It's like, okay, I got you, Aaron. Let's see okay.
Yeah.
That's how I felt like. All right, so now you want to can of whoop ass. Okay.
So you end up being in the bottom 2 between you and Alyssa, and he decides to choose you and hopes that you vote out Stephanie. So he has this whole kind of plan. What were your thoughts on that, on him picking you to go up?
Well, I'll tell you this. As soon as we aligned ourselves and I found out that me and Alyssa had the key standing in that moment, I knew I was going up.
Yeah.
I knew from the other episodes. I knew from listening into Aaron and, oh, he's trying to protect Alyssa. And for some reason, I guess Alyssa going up against the banker is a bad thing. Like to me, going up against the banker it was never a bad thing. It was like, okay, I'm actually doing a deal or no deal thing because there are some people who leave with no money and they don't even go up against the banker. Yeah. So I'm like, oh yeah, definitely put me up against the banker. That's what I'm doing. And Alyssa was like, oh my God, I don't know who he's going to pick. Like, girl, bye. You knew. Like, So in that moment, I'm already preparing. I'm already knowing what I'm going to do. So I'm like, okay, so let me make Aaron trust, like, because I could have popped off. I could have been like, screw you, Aaron. But I was like, no, Aaron, okay, don't worry. You helped me out. Who do you want out? Because in my head, I was like, I'm going to beat this banker and I'm going to really throw him under the bus. And that was my goal. It was very hard for me to, contain myself when we're sitting there having that conversation. And he's like, "You're one of my closest people to me. I just know that you can get Stephanie out," because he was afraid if he put somebody else up, that they were going to get him out.
Mm.
Well, that's what happens when I don't talk strategy and I keep it to myself. It confuses people, and that's what I wanted.
Yeah, and Aaron isn't always so innocent. I mean, he's really, tiny and he seems so sweet, but he's playing the game just like everyone else. So I'm glad that you kind of spotted that. So going up to play the Deal or No Deal, what was your ultimate goal? Was it to win and get as much prize money and then vote out Alyssa? That was your goal?
Oh yeah, my whole, I mean, my goal, to me, I didn't think I was ever going to leave. Like, I
Okay.
knew I'd watched Deal or No Deal my whole life. I did not let people know that I was good at the game. I did not let people know, like, I've watched it my whole life. But when you saw me, I was happy the whole time. I was
Yeah.
happy to be there. I was happy to be next to Joe. I knew I was going to get her out. There was like no other way. I would have been blindsided myself if I didn't win. And then the fact that the personal offer happened, I'm like, what is this, banker? Don't you want to see some drama? Like,
Yeah, I
but
mean, you gave us some drama, which we'll get into
I
right before
did.
you left. But the decision was for you to take the 40,000 and run. And ultimately, like you said, you rather take money than end up with nothing because a lot of these contestants might be there another week, 2 weeks, and they could end up with nothing. So when did that decision click in your head that it is what you wanted to do and take home that money?
So, working with so much money, we kind of get blindsided to the fact, like, I'm working with millions of dollars. So when I saw $40,000, I was like,
Mm.
that's chump change. But I had to reel myself back in. I think Amy said, "Hey, Miranda, you got to realize, what's going to happen when you leave the game. Like, this is all fun and games now, but when you go home, are you going to have $40,000? Or are you going to have nothing? Or are you going to have a million? Like, what is your mindset?" So she had said something and it really kind of chimed home. And I started thinking about the business. I started thinking about why I got here. I said, if I get a good amount of money, I will be able to help my community out. And I didn't want to go too greedy and then go home with nothing. So I had to ultimately make that decision. And like I said, I want to be blessed so I can bless others.
Hmm.
And it worked out perfectly. It was the very first, personal offer. I was making the banker sweat.
Yeah.
So I just couldn't be happy enough with the outcome.
Yeah, 40,000 is still a lot of money. Did you feel like you quit the game? Did any kind of fans give you backlash about that?
No, and also I won the $20,000 in the second episode. So I think I walk home with
60,000.
yeah. But in my eyes, like, no, everybody was like, honestly, $40,000, they would do it too, because the money isn't promised. And, there could have been a moment where I stayed in the game. Imagine that. Imagine if I had the $100 in my
Hmm.
case, I would have had the $40,000 and I would have booted her, booted her out. In a perfect world, maybe next time. But um, to me, nobody really has been saying anything other than, hey, $40,000, and then you blew up somebody's spot. You left in style, and proud of it.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that. Before you left, I'm so glad you dropped a bomb. I love when players do this. I think it's so important to kind of give a little bit of insight to the contestants in the game. And you
Oh
basically
yeah.
said that Aaron and Alyssa's plan was to vote out Stephanie. Did you forget to include Boston Rob in this, or could you
No,
not? Okay.
no. It's funny because I didn't even have to include him. It's Aaron and Alyssa. Rob's always there. Rob is not on anybody else's. Rob was not on the other people's side. So, and everybody wanted Rob out anyways. So it would, like, he was just already just washed up. Like, when somebody had an opportunity, they were going to get him out. But with, if you split up two people, like if I were to split up Boston Rob and send him home, you would still have Alyssa and Aaron, and Alyssa and Aaron causes issues. They both of them, they
Hmm.
cause issues. So I had to ultimately make that decision. Like, yeah, I could have gotten Rob out, but blindsiding Aaron and taking Alyssa home would have pissed Aaron off. Would have
Hmm.
made him so upset. And that's what I wanted. I wanted to piss Aaron off.
Fair enough. So who are you rooting for in the game? Who were some of your closest allies, and what do you kind of want to see in the next few episodes as we get closer towards the end?
Who I want to see win? I want to see Amy win.
I
I
like
love
Amy
Amy.
too.
I love Amy. She's so freaking funny. She makes me laugh 100%. She's short. The odds are against her, and I just want to see her just fly through it, I want to see her beat Boston Rob. I want her to, to really get that good, like, yeah. My closest allies were her and Nick. Nick was really close to me, but we're in the tent. So we would go have tent talk, and then afterwards, we would disperse so we wouldn't look like an alliance. He would go talk to, Rob and get some information, and Amy would go talk to some other people, and we would do what we had to do, and then go back at nighttime, talk about what we needed. So it was kind of like an unspoken alliance. Those were the two that I trusted the most.
I love that. Did you know who Boston Rob was? Did you see him on Survivor and everything?
No, I thought Boston Rob was some old Spanish man. I didn't know. I was like, who is this guy hanging out with us right now? And then I didn't know who Kim was, and I didn't know who Claudio was until we all did this moment where, we introduced everybody and said, but even though, everyone's like, oh, Boston Rob, he won Survivor, that never made me want to paint a target on his back. Although in my head, I was like, well, hey, if I get a moment, I'm going to take him out for sure, because everybody else to me wasn't really a threat. But of course, like, I'm going to take a grown man out. That's my goal. And then, it started leaning more towards Aaron and Alyssa. And then I had 3 targets to figure out. And in my head, every day I'm trying to figure out where this blind side's going to come. If I ever get immunity, I had to put myself in a position. I couldn't just talk a lot of crap and then leave breadcrumbs. I needed to be like stealth mode and understand. So you'll see me in the videos. I'm always like in the back listening, watching, hearing everybody spew their anger out. And I'm just collecting data.
Yeah. Do you have any regrets?
I have no regrets. The only regret that I regret is picking case 11. I think it was case 10 that had the 100. That's the only thing. If I was able to take the money and stay in the game and get Alyssa out, that would have been amazing. But other than that, I don't have any regrets for how I played. I played who I was. I never switched up. And, when people started to come after me, then, you grab the bull by the horns and, you lay down with dogs, you go and get fleas.
Yeah, I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time and explaining your game. I loved watching you on the show. I can't wait to see what happens next. Where could everybody find you, and maybe tell us something that wasn't shown or something that you want everyone to know about your game or about your life, and what you want to do with the money? I mean, you kind of said it on the show, but any other closing thoughts?
Like, I'm a pest control technician. I work outside. It's a dirty job. I'm doing it for 4 years. When I get the money, I'm going to help out with my community. I'm going to hopefully start my business. There are legal terms with starting my business. There has to be a gap year. I can't steal customers. So, that's in the works. You can find me on Instagram, TikTok, and I believe Facebook under Miranda Rose Harrison. Super easy. My full name. You'll probably see I'm wearing pink pants. You guys can stay tuned. I'm hoping to be on other reality shows and bring the chaos.
Okay, I love it so much. I'm going to put your Instagram in the link below so everyone can go follow you. Go follow Miranda. Last question, which show would you want to be on if you could go on one more to leave us off?
If I could go on one more, I would love to be on The Challenge.
Okay, well, we're putting it out there, manifesting. I hope to see you come back in the finale. I love when they bring everyone back. So fingers crossed.
Hey, there's going to be some crazy things happening in the finale. So we all got to stay tuned, okay?
Okay, perfect. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.
Thank you. Have a great day.